International Renal Pathology Conference, which is joint with event of Renal Pathology Society, Nephropathology Working Group of European Society of Pathology, University of Zagreb School of Medicine, Nephropathology Working Group of Croatian Society of Pathology, and Service Hospital Foundation. The first International Renal Pathology Conference was in 2010 in La Coruña, Spain, followed in conference in Japan, India, Poland, and this year we are here in Zagreb. I hope we will have a good conference with 27 invited, very known speakers with 28 topics, 3 clinical pathological conferences with 14 cases presentation, which will be presented by our young colleagues. There will be also poster session with Best Posters Award. We are happy to say that until now there is 360 participants. Half of them are virtual, half are in person, from 60 different countries. You can see from which country we have these people. So I used to say to my young colleagues that they will be in my age, they should be everything in color. This which is in green means there is no renal pathology, but I hope it would be in future, because one of the most important goals of this meeting is to spread knowledge from this to everywhere to the world. So I'm happy here is our Croatia. It's blue, but everything depends about perspective. So we are here now. So you are all welcome, and I'm happy. I'm not sure is Lois come because Lois. Okay. So please, Lois. Lois is the president of Renal Pathology Society. So you are.
Just right.
We want rest and then what later?
No, we just had a little adventure with our cab driver. We went to all sorts of places in the university and the medical center. It was interesting. So, on behalf of the Renal Pathology Society, all the board members, all of our members, welcome. I think this is a fantastic program. I'm really looking forward to everyone's talks, and I hope everyone gets a lot out of it, learns something, and has a lot of fun too. And that's it. Thank you.
I would like to thank Lois because we worked last few months very hard to prepare all the programs. So Lois, thank you very much. And as you all know, there is no nephropathology without nephrologists. So I am happy to say welcome to our president of Croatian Renal Association, Professor Nikolina Bašić-Jukić, and ask her to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Danica. First of all, I would like to congratulate Danica for gathering us all together. It is really an honor for Croatia to have you here. And from my point of view, besides the oncology, nephrology is part of medicine which is most dependent on pathology. For diagnosis, for prognosis, for treatment, for follow-up of treatment. So we can't work without pathologists. So we are so happy to have you here, and I would like to welcome you in my name and on behalf of Croatian Renal Association. And finally, I hope that this heavy rain, which is so unusual for this part of the year, will not prevent you from enjoying your stay in Zagreb. Welcome to Zagreb and enjoy your stay.
We have actually also Croatian Society of Pathology, dialysis and transplantation, which president is Professor Mario Laganovic. So ask me for a few welcome words. Yeah.
Good evening. Good evening to all, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues. It is my great honor and pleasure to welcome you on behalf of Croatian Society of Pathology, Dialysis and Transplantation. Having World Congress in our city, it's a really great opportunity to learn from leading experts in the field, exchange knowledge and establish connections for future collaboration. So I'm really looking forward to the next few days and to exciting program, which promises to be also informative and inspiring, I would say. I would also like to thank everyone who has contributed to making this event possible, especially Professor Danica Galešić-Ivanović for exceptional effort she put in organization and also for mobilization of almost all Croatian nephrology community for active participation in this event. I hope that this conference will be one enriching and rewarding experience for you. So I wish you all a fruitful conference and pleasant stay in Zagreb. Thank you very much.
I actually have two jobs. One is at medical school, but other is at Dubrava University Hospital. It's actually the newest hospital in country still, even it's more than 30 years old now. And in this building, we established, it's just behind here, a Department of Pathology. We established 20 years ago Renal Pathology Laboratory. So, and everything starts from our Dubrava University Hospital. And I'm very happy that here is Deputy Director Professor Diana Rudan, and she will come and welcome from my home institution.
Distinguished guests, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Professor Ivica Lukšić, the director of Dubrava University Hospital, I have an honor to wish you a very warm welcome here on the 5th Interventional Renal Pathology Conference here in Zagreb. It's one of the most important meetings which is focused on native and transplant kidney diseases. I hope that you will have a pleasant time here despite the weather, that you will share your medical experience and that you will learn something new. I also congratulate and thank you Professor Danica Galešić-Ivanović and her team for organizing this conference. Once again, thank you for coming and have a pleasant stay here.
And between us is my colleagues. We work together on electron microscopy more than 30 years now, because I was a student at medical school when he was assistant, Professor Davor. Now he is rising for study in English, and he's here in the name of the Dean of Medical School, and please let us few words.
Dear colleagues, distinguished guests, distinguished invited speakers, many thanks for coming to Zagreb. Despite weather, and it will be, I promise you, better in the following days. On behalf of Dean of School of Medicine, Professor Orešović, I wish you a warm welcome and a very fruitful conference. We are here in the Čašković Hall, and Čašković was our very first dean. The school has been established in 1917, and we are now in the middle of 105th academic year. Despite these facts, we are not, I hope, Alzheimer case, but we are trying to be vigilant. We have two centers of excellence from the area of regenerative and reproductive medicine and neuroscience, and we also offer the whole spectrum of specializations for our medical doctors and young colleagues. I see, Danica, that you really made a very, very tight schedule, and I thank you for this, and I think you are going to be very much entertained by the program of the conference, but despite this busy schedule, I hope you will have a time to visit the city and to feel the warmth of Croatian people. Thank you again for coming.
With us is our Vice Dean Sector for Student Affairs, but again, we work together for 30 years now, and everything started in this building. Professor Sven Sarver, which is the head of the Institute of Pathology, and I'm very happy to welcome him, and he will let you know that we just celebrate 1 century of our institute.
Dear colleagues, dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, of course, like everybody, all the speakers before me, I would like to welcome you warmly to the relatively cold and humid Zagreb, but as promised before, it will become better. Some of you already experienced a little bit of the surrounding. The school is under reconstruction. So for us, it's really a great thing that this conference of this scale and this importance is a moment like this organized at our school, and we would like to thank you warmly for the support and all your engagement in this really great task. Actually, it's already 101 year. Last year we had the first century of our institute. It would be normal, this part at least of the meeting would be held at the institute because we have a large lecture room, but the institute is not at the moment, it's not possible to hold anything because the institute is under reconstruction. I will just, in very brief lines, give you a short overview of this, what happened in these 100 years. As it's usual in our region, everything was very complicated from the start. The start was at the end of the First World War, of the School of Medicine, and the Institute of Pathology was built actually immediately after the First World War, with a lot of financial problems, and now we also see that these financial problems led to some structural problems in the building, so that this has to be repaired. But not only structural problems, but also the search for the head of the department went not so easily, but eventually one at that time very well-known pathologist, Sergei Saltykov, was named the head of the institute, and after already a respectable scientific career in several important institutes of pathology around Europe, and he stayed in this position for a really, really long time. As this search went on for a relatively long time, it was a period before they could find the real candidate, so several names which were of great importance at that time were in the combination of becoming the head of the institute, but eventually it came out that for different reasons they were not able to take over this position. Money was a problem. Actually, almost until World War II, there was no normal permanent salary for anyone else except for the head of the institute. So all the assistants and all the staff was actually paid only occasionally, and they had the opportunity to live in the institute. So it's also a little bit of funny history. But despite that, several very interesting persons appeared in this early history. One of the first was Marcel Kornfeld, who was actually the designated second man of the institute, but he died relatively soon as a young assistant professor, and this was actually one great loss for the institute. As also in other areas, there were several Russian doctors. One of them was Govorov, who organized a very important museum of macroscopical specimens, over 3,500 specimens. Today it's not any longer of that size, but it's still more than 1,400 specimens, which is relatively good for this time, because many museums got lost over time. Also, a very interesting person was Blaženka Pejić-Marković. She was the first lady professor of the medical school of Zagreb, was a relatively short time head of the institute, but then moved to the head and neck department and became professor of pathology at the newly formed School of Dentistry, and then dean. In this position she stayed relatively long time. So we gave also one very important person in this derived of medical school. We are somehow proud because our institute is very good in teaching material and producing textbooks for students, starting with a series from Saltykov in person, and after that several important local pathologists, but one name you are most likely familiar with. It's Ivan Damjanov, who is actually one of the leading authors of the new series of textbooks. Now we had the 6th edition of this textbook last year, and we are actually we think that this is very important for our students to have our own textbook, and also for the staff. Something which is somehow connected also to this, what we about this meeting. The different laboratories which are founded in the institute. As you can see, the laboratory of electron microscopy was founded relatively early. It was the first medical electron microscopy laboratory in the former Yugoslavia, and the second electron microscope in this biomedical area. The first was at the institute and the research institute Ruđer Bošković. And then different centers, of course, moving from immunohistochemistry to today's molecular pathology and tissue culture, which have all their importance in the time they are founded and bring new things to the pathology. We are, except teaching, we are also active in diagnostic work, and this is a very interesting curve in the first slide, where you can see that we have ups and downs. This is historically a very interesting point, because the government decided to split off the teaching and medicine, so the clinical center was split off from medical school, and of course, and the diagnostic rate dropped almost to zero, but during time now we are reaching actually again numbers which are almost at the time comparable to the time before it was